Hello Twin Flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy update. Today I'm gonna be doing an update for the full moon in Aries that we're gonna be experiencing October 9 around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and please adjust the timing for your own time zone accordingly. For some of you it would be actually on the 10th of October, but since this time is approaching the peak time of the full moon, I am gonna be doing a reading to see how this energy is impacting twin flames, so we can use the opportunity of this powerful time towards something that you want to build or something you want to release. Mostly the full moons are about the time to release, to get rid of any burdens, any pain, any suffering. And because this is the full moon in Aries, more than anything it is about, because it's this fire energy. Aries is also a very personal sign. It's the first house where it's all about me. It's what do I do? What do I want? How do I see my world? Also, Chiron is currently in Aries. So we have both Chiron and the full moon in Aries as we speak. Which means that, and you remember Chiron is showing you, is the wounded healer, showing you where you have the wounds that need healing and to empower you, right? Together with the full moon that highlights any secrets or anything suppressed. You can imagine that this energy intensifies. So the biggest revelation, and if you are to remember one thing about this full moon, that it will be important to work on your heart chakra, to unblock it, to help it blossom, and to do the healing, to do the inner child work as much as you can, and whatever is going to be coming up for you, to welcome it in, right? And again, do it from an inner child perspective. So it's basically an exercise of reparenting yourself and approaching it as a responsible and loving parent for yourself. It's a whole separate department of all kinds of techniques you can do to do inner child healing, and you can Google it. I have some information in my videos too. I'll probably do an article on it. Actually, it's a good idea. I'll probably do an article on it tomorrow, so that you get a little bit more sense of what it means and which direction to go to if you want to do something more targeted towards it. So there is a way to heal it and to release certain burdens, certain old wounds that will prep you up for, first of all, 10th portal. And of course, for the remainder of the year, it's going to be super transformational for us all, but for light workers and twin flames, even more so. Twin flames as a subsection of light workers. Okay, let's get started. I have a few decks with me. By the way, if you like what I'm doing, don't forget to click the like button on the video, to leave a comment, make yourself known, say hi. I appreciate your feedback, guys. And of course, share it with others if you feel they can benefit from this message. I have a few decks with me. I am going to start with Beyond the Lemuria today. This is very spiritual and kind of multi-realm reality deck. But I feel very strongly about it today, so I was guided to actually start the reading with it. Then I will go into tarot and we'll do the energy check, but with 3 questions for each of the twin collective, the feminines and the masculine. So we'll be asking, what is the biggest opportunity during this full moon? Meaning, what can you gain with it? What's beneficial? What should you be accounting for, be ready for, be welcoming? Then the second question will be, what is the challenge at this time during this full moon? And so you're just aware that maybe there is going to be some resistance somewhere. And the third one is going to be, what's the outcome? What can you achieve as a result of where it's taking you, right? And the difference is, because I think I had that question last time, what's the difference between the benefits of the positive impact and the outcome? First of all, outcome is a lot more neutral. It's not really about positive or negative, but it's also about the actual events. So for example, the benefit could be that I heal my old wounds, let's say connected with connection to my mom and specific times, right? Maybe I can dig even deeper than that, right? Specify it. That's gonna be the benefit. but the outcome is the consequence. As a result, I will be able, for example, to open up my heart chakra more. I will be able to discover new gifts. I will be able to go for certain goals that I didn't dare do before. Things like that, you know, that's the difference. Okay, let's dive right in. And at the end, we're gonna get some cards from the Angel Therapy deck with some advice for each of the twins. Okay, so one of the reasons why I'm not doing the connection for today for this full moon is because, again, the moon is in Aries, which is a very personal sign. And that is not to say that as a person, as an individual, I do not care about my twin flame. Of course, it's going to be part of the story. It's part of the setting, whether we want it or not. We are one with our person. But this is not so much about the relationship. This is more about the introspection, right? And my life in my own right. That's why we're not going to be putting as much focus on the dynamic between the twins today. So let's get a card for Divine Feminine. First of all, what's going to be the oracle message from the Lemurians for Divine Feminine? This deck and the artwork and the story of how I got this deck actually reminds me, I got two cards, actually reminds me about my trip to Hawaii that I want to do in January, and I want to go for a few months this time, and I just can't wait. It's gonna be amazing. Really excited. I'm starting to do some preparations already because I have a lot of planning to do. Because when you leave for a few months, it's very different than when you go for a few days. So yeah, I have a lot to figure out in the next month or so, but I'm feeling very strongly about it, and I can't wait for that amazing adventure, because this time I want to see like all the major islands, not just the big island where I was staying the last time. Okay, let me get the book, because usually we get some extra revelations from the book. Still trying to be careful with the candles. The Sound of the Universe and Manifestia. Wow. So you may be hearing some messages at this time. Are you an audial person? Do you have clairaudial gifts? Maybe you will discover those at this time. You're very careful, and with the messages you hear, really listen carefully. And what else? Yeah, especially at times of stillness and meditation. That's probably going to be those when you will hear it the strongest. But it also can be at the times of stress or some sort of trigger. So notice that for yourself. And Manifestia, of course, is telling us that this is a perfect time to manifest something wonderful into your reality. Let me read the card 51. The Manifestia is actually pretty straightforward, so don't want to take too much time, but I will stop at the divinatory meaning for the sound of the universe. Having your world shaken up even a little can invite a deeper glimpse of the great mystery of your life. That's what this whole season is all about. There are myriad ways to peek behind the veil of the mundane world. Ecstatic dance, spiritual exploration, and intuitive creative pursuits are just a few. Aim to naturally imbue this awareness in your everyday existence, so you can avoid the sudden wake-up calls. Wake up to the hidden music, harmony, and wonder of your multidimensional world. Make it practice. That last one is an addition from me. Beautiful. Let's see what we have for the masculines. What do divine masculines need to know at this time? What's the message from the Lemurians? Alright. Starseed Elemental. It's interesting. I was looking at this card during the pre-shuffle. I was trying to remember when was the last time, or where did it all started when I was hearing about it. But actually, I am an elemental myself, so this concept resonates with me very much. So this is a little bit more about the energy of children and childlike fun and joy and all that. The divinatory meaning of this card for divine masculines. Bring a sense of play, lightness, and spontaneity to your life. Be inspired by children or your inner child work comes up again. You are encouraged to add inquisitiveness, fun, and laughter to your reality. This card may signify the presence of a child in your life. Spending time with children will help you experience the world from a fresh perspective and seize them as the inspiring teachers they are. Beautiful. All right, that was a perfect start. Let's get going with the tarot. Today I picked my Muse tarot cards. So it's gonna be, a little bit like a little bit of a psychedelic experience, which is what I like when we're talking about the lunar events. Okay, so let's get started with what is the benefit? What is the benefit? What is the positive impact of this time, of the full moon in Aries for divine feminines? What is the opportunity that the feminines have during this time in terms of the spiritual path? And by the way, if you're interested in a personal reading or a coaching session, I have those as set up as products now on my website, so you can buy services directly from the website mindfulbamboo.com, and there is a link to that specific page of the website in the description box. If you're getting more than one, like a package of coaching sessions, like 3 or 5 or more, it's definitely going to be cheaper for you. It will be a discounted price. And of course, you can always contact me for more information via an email address. The Muse of Voices. Voices of the Swords. This is a King of Swords, actually. Nice. I'll pull the cards first and then I'll get into the reading. For the masculines. Wow, a lot of cards. Okay, we'll take them all. We have 3 of materials, 4 of voices, the Chariot, and 2 of voices. 2, 3, 4. Nice. And the Chariot. The Chariot is another card that's actually quite frequent these days. But you know what planet is connected to the Chariot card? You're right, it's the moon. Okay, let's see what we have for the challenges. So what is the challenge at this time for divine feminines? And then I'll take the After Tarot deck for the outcome. What's the challenge for divine feminines at this time? Justice, the balance. What's the challenge for divine masculines? Muse of materials. That's King of Pentacles. Okay, and let's see what we have here. What's the outcome for divine feminines? The Fool. What's the outcome for divine masculines? Three of Pentacles. There's a little bit of synchronicity here because we had Three of Pentacles for, what is it? No, actually it was for divine masculine. Okay. So for the feminines, we have the Muse of Voices as the opportunity. So guess what? And I'm very glad actually that we've got the Muse, this deck, and it's the Muse. So there is now not so much focus on the masculine energy, which is the king, which the king actually is, right? The King of Swords. Right? It's a lot more about the Muse and the voices, and I actually love the voice part as well. It means that you are getting inspired to speak your mind and to deliver your message to the world. That's the opportunity, to find your voice. And I don't mean this in a theoretical way, I mean it in a very practical way. It's not like that you didn't talk and you'll start talking. No, you were talking really well, right? This is about the point where your energy channel is so clear that you know exactly what kind of message your audience awaits. And I don't just mean in the moment, like for example, as I'm doing this tarot reading right now. I mean just in general. So if we take my example, it's like I would know exactly what kind of article to post right now, or what kind of article needs to come out a week from now. What kind of information is going to be necessary for the people to hear, for my audience specifically, for people who I'm reaching out to. But that's also important, right? That you're speaking to your audience, that you know your audience and you're speaking to your audience. You're getting the messages that will be important for people who will be watching this, who will be listening, who will be reading, whatever the medium of delivery is, even if it's an in-person event where you are talking about some important topic. And I'm getting some questions. It's almost like coming from the collective of whether it's going to be specifically about spiritual paths. Doesn't have to be. You could be telling people, I don't know, you could be sharing your skills and knowledge, maybe even like from the corporate world, or sharing some recipes of how you make your best, I don't know, lasagna or an awesome tasting salad or whatever. And that could be life-changing for people as well. So don't get hung up on making it too elevated and something philosophical. That's not necessarily what it is. That's the whole point, that you will know what to talk about, what will be of value. For the masculines, there are a lot of possibilities. But most importantly, from what I'm getting with all of this, the masculines will know which direction to go into. So for them, it's a little bit more about, if for the feminine energy, it's more about speaking and communication, which of course is connected to action. For masculines, it's actually a little bit more about actual steps forward, about action, about making changes in their life. They will know which direction to go to, what will provide some restfulness as opposed to restlessness, what is gonna create a symbiotic energy where the collaboration with someone else is of benefit and actually inspires. So this is like that extra bonus that is not just efficient, it's not just working out, but it's awesome, it's inspiring, it's euphoric, you know, how to get to that point, what is important there, what kind of action take to move forward. This is that point where there will be clarity on what decision to make and what to do next, what to focus on next on this journey. The challenge for the feminines is the Justice card. Yeah, so balancing of emotions could be tricky, especially as I was saying, all those things about working with your heart chakra, doing inner child work. So please do not disregard that message. It's going to be crucial for you to get the benefits of the energies of this time. And the clearer your energy channel is going to be, and the more prepared you will be in terms of inner child work and clearing your heart chakra, the more you're going to accomplish with this. And the more pleasant it's going to be. That's what I'm getting. I was looking for the word. For the masculines, the challenge is to still have this feeling of being on top of the world, even when you're making unpopular decisions. And the decision that's going to come up for them, and it's no surprise, you know, because a lot of times part of the journey is about making unpopular decisions, uncomfortable decisions, something that is difficult to decide to do. So for masculines, it will be challenging to let go of their comfort zone in terms of their income source, in terms of who they're surrounded by and how they live their life, right? This is leaving that status quo behind and moving into something unknown, into something that they feel is right, is the key to happiness, but something that's very new and thus uncomfortable. So the challenge is also not to fall back into the older ways of doing things and not to kind of repeat the old cycle. The outcome for the feminines, it's the Fool card, which means that there's going to be, of course, the new cycle of energy. But guess what? It's also going to be a lot, there's going to be a lot more trust and faith in the divine and in your own voice. Because the feminines will feel this direct connection between the two. So it's not gonna be like, oh, who do I think I am, right? How dare I like say that I'm a spiritual leader or that I'm gonna teach people XYZ? No, it's gonna be a much more comfortable concept of like, yeah, I'm speaking the message of the divine. I'm sending the message I'm supposed to send in this lifetime. I'm helping people become aware, awaken, get happier in their lives, right? I'm sharing something important with them. This is this faith in yourself and in the path, of course. For the masculines, we already saw this card in the current energy. So this is the energy of the outcome. So like I was saying, it's the collaboration that will be euphoric. So if they succeed with the setup, the result will be that the collaboration they're gonna get, and yes, for a few it will be with the divine feminine, for others it will be just with people of very new frequency, because guess what, divine masculines are ascending as well, and as they ascend, their frequency, their vibration is changing, is becoming higher, and they're supposed to change their surrounding as well. Not necessarily 100% change right away, but it's gonna come in naturally. And this is them getting out of the outgrown energy, where outgrown environment, where people are still in the older place, and moving towards something new and exciting, and working with people who will share this new vibration and new frequency to get to that euphoric state of creation. And you're creating something amazing together, whether it's business or hobby or art or even relationship. Okay, last but not least, messages for divine feminine. What's the advice from the angel therapy for the feminines? Ear chakras. Yes, and you actually had the sound of the universe, so it makes sense. Notice messages that appear as sounds, music, and words from both external sources and within your mind. These messages are real answers to your prayers. Very nice. And I even love how the concept of hearing messages and audio is connected to speaking and voicing and producing your own sound. So this is also this kind of balance. It's supposed to be like a balanced give and take of when you get the messages and then you deliver the messages. This flow of energy. Wonderful. What do we have for the masculines? Advice for divine masculines at this time from the angel therapy. And yeah, if you're looking to do some rituals, don't forget this is the fire element. You know, the moon is in the fire element, so burn-in rituals will be very beneficial at this time. You can put something down, something that you want to release, you want to heal, you can put it on a piece of paper and burn it. Just be careful, especially if you're doing the burning inside. So we have 3 cards, okay? Manifestation power. Use your spiritual gifts and natural abilities to attract your desired outcome. Then we have law of attraction, just kind of similar. Relationships and activities that you once enjoyed are now changing as you become more sensitive and aware of energy. That's just what I was talking about. You can make it up. They are elevating their energy, and hence it's changing. Relationships and activities are now changing as you become more sensitive and aware of energies. And lastly, we have books. Your life purpose involves writing, reading, editing, or selling spiritually based books. And I would just add to this that it doesn't have to be literally books. It can be online resources, right? We are living in the online world these days. So it can be some kind of writing that you do online, divine masculines. Okay, I hope this has been good for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you all, and I'll be in touch and back with more readings very, very soon.